So students, in last video we have discussed about the different kinds of microorganisms, that is bacteria, algae, fungi, protozoa and virus, and their uses in the preparation of curd and bread. And also we have discussed about commercial use and the fermentation process. Now we'll see medicinal use of microorganisms. Whenever you fall ill, the doctor may give you some antibiotic tablets, capsules or injections such as of penicillin. So students, the question may arise in your mind, that is what is antibiotics? It is nothing but a medicine which stops the growth of or kill the disease causing microorganism is called antibiotic. So students, note down this point. Antibiotic is nothing but it is a medicine which stops the growth or kill the disease causing microorganism. The source of these medicines is microorganisms. The antibiotic manufactured by growing specific microorganisms. These medicines kill or stop the growth of the disease causing microorganisms. Such medicines are called antibiotics. These days, a number of antibiotics are being produced from a bacteria and fungi. That bacteria and fungi are nothing but these are the specific microorganisms to manufacture the antibiotics. Here, for example, streptomycin, tetracycline, and erythromycin are some of the common known antibiotics which are made from fungi and bacteria. First, we'll see streptomycin, used to treat severe tuberculosis, pneumonia, and other infection caused by bacteria. Next, tetracycline is used to treat acne. It is used to treat only bacterial infection. And next one is erythromycin. It is used to prevent bacterial infection. The antibiotics are manufactured by growing specific microorganisms and are used to cure a variety of diseases. Means here antibiotics are manufactured by specific microorganism, and that specific microorganism is used for particular antibiotic preparation. And antibiotics are even mixed with the feed of livestock. Here livestock is nothing but animal farms and poultry to check microbial infection in animals. They are also used to control many plant diseases. Alexander Fleming and penicillin. In 1929, Alexander Fleming was working on a culture of disease causing bacteria. Here, culturing bacteria means method of multiplying microbial organisms under controlled laboratory conditions. Alexander Fleming was working on a culture of disease causing bacteria. Suddenly, he found the spores of a little green mold in one of his culture plate. He observed that the presence of mold prevented the growth of bacteria. In fact, he, it also killed many of these bacteria. From this, the mold penicillin was prepared. Here, the spores is single-celled body. An uncovered petri dish near an open window became contaminated with mold. Fleming realized that bacteria near the mold were dying. Fleming discovered that it was not the mold itself but a juice it had produced that had destroyed the bacteria. He named this mold juice as penicillin, that is antibiotic. Alexander Fleming discovered penicillin. Next, Edward Jenner and smallpox vaccine. So, what is vaccine? Vaccine is the substance stimulate the production of antibiotics and provide immunity against disease. Edward Jenner discovered the vaccine for smallpox in 1798. He took fluid from a cowpox blister Blister is nothing but small bubbles on skin that is filled with serum and scratched it into the skin of James Phipps. James Phipps is a 8-year-old boy. A single blister rose up on the spot, but James soon recovered. About this discovery of blister, that is vaccine, you will study in the higher classes. It is important to remember that antibiotics should be taken only on the advice of qualified doctor. Also, you must finish the course prescribed by the doctor. If you take antibiotics when not needed or in wrong doses, it may make the drug less effective when you might need it in the future. Also, antibiotics taken unnecessarily may kill the beneficial bacteria in the body. Antibiotics, however, are not effective against the cold and flu as these are caused by the virus. Means that any disease which is caused by the virus, the antibiotics are not effective to those disease. So we should take the antibiotics when it is in needed and advice of qualified doctors only. Next, we'll see why are children and infants given vaccination. Now you are familiar with vaccine. Vaccine is nothing but the substance which stimulate the production of antibiotics and provide immunity against the disease. Next, when a disease carrying microbes enters our body, the body produces antibodies to fight the invader. Here, invader is nothing but disease causing microbes. The body also remembers how to fight the microbe if it enters again. So, if dead or weakened microbes are introduced in a healthy body, the body fights and kills them by producing suitable antibodies. The antibodies remains in the body and we are protected from the disease causing microbes. This is how vaccine works. Several diseases including cholera, tuberculosis, smallpox and hepatitis can be prevented by vaccination. Here, antibiotics play an important role to fight against the disease causing microorganism and they protect us from the different kinds of the diseases. In your childhood, you must have been given injections to protect yourself against several diseases. Can you prepare a list of these diseases? You may take help from your parents. It is essential to protect all children against these diseases. Those diseases you might have remembered, that is diphtheria, hemophilus, influenza, hepatitis A, hepatitis B, and influenza, measles, pneumonia, etc. Necessary vaccines are available in the nearby hospitals. You might have seen the advertisement on TV and newspapers regarding protection of children against polio under Pulse Polio program. Means all different types of the injections, vaccines have given in childhood to protect from different types of the diseases. Polio drops given to children are actually a vaccine. A worldwide campaign against smallpox has finally led to its eradication from most parts of the world. Why? Because that Edward Jenner he discovered the vaccine for smallpox disease. These days vaccines are made on a large scale from microorganisms to protect humans and other animals from several disease. So in this chapter, next we are going to learn about different kinds of the disease which is caused by different microorganisms in humans and plants. Next we will discuss about increasing soil fertility. As you know that already we have learnt about soil fertility. It is the ability of soil to provide crops with essential plant nutrients. Some bacteria and blue-green algae are able to fix nitrogen from the
atmosphere to enrich soil with nitrogen and increase its fertility. There are some bacteria like rhizobium bacteria and blue-green algae will fix the nitrogen from the atmosphere. How this process will take place? By precipitation and by lightning, the nitrogen will be introduced to the soil. And next, the nitrogen content will be increases in the soil. These microbes are commonly called biological nitrogen. The rhizobium bacteria in the root nodules of leguminous plants convert free nitrogen to ammonia. This all thing we'll study in the nitrogen cycle in next part. The rhizobium bacteria found in soil that helps in fixing nitrogen in leguminous plants. It attaches to the roots of leguminous plant and produce nodules. These nodules fix atmospheric nitrogen and convert it into ammonia that can be used by plant for its growth and development. Next, fifth activity. Take two pots and fill each pot half with soil. Mark them A and B. Put plant waste in pot A and things like polythene bags, empty glass bottles, and broken plastic toys in pot B. Put the pots aside. Observe them after 3 to 4 weeks. Do you find any difference in the contents of two pots? If so, what is the difference? First, what you have to take here? Take two pots and fill each pot half with soil and mark them A and B. Put plant waste in pot A and polythene bags, plastic packets, empty glass bottles, and broken plastic toys in pot B and keep those pots aside and observe after 3 to 4 weeks what difference you will observe. Next we'll see what result we'll get after 3 to 4 weeks and what type of the difference we'll get in plant A and plant B, means pot A and pot B. Next, observation for fifth activity. You'll find that plant waste in pot A has been decomposed. Here decomposed is nothing but broken down. How could this happen? The plant waste has been converted into manure by the action of microbes. Here manure is nothing but animal dung. The nutrients released in the process could be used by the plants again. Did you notice that in pot B, the polythene bags, empty glasses, bottle, and broken toy parts did not undergo any such changes? The microbes could not act on them and convert them into manure. Why it is so? Because the pot B is filled with polythene bags. They remain as it is. It takes so many years for degradation, for breakdown. Pot A containing plant waste after 3 to 4 weeks get degraded as well. All plants waste as organic material. They mix up with soil and make soil more fertile. That forms manure. Here fertile is nothing but the ability of the soil to grow the crops.